Today on Stripped, we're all about luxury. And one way to get the star treatment is to show up on the red carpet in a designer gown. And when actress Allison Janney arrived at one Emmy ceremony, she came wearing a dress designed by Badgley Mischka. Badgley Mischka are two New York designers, Mark Badgley and James Mischka, who first came together under one vision in 1988.
We decided to team our efforts instead of compete, and that's when we started Badgley Mischka.
Today, they're at the height of haute couture, and their decadent designs have always been based on elegance and inspired by old Hollywood glamour.
I think that's what really appeals to a lot of women and a lot of the girls in Hollywood about our collection, is there's that slight little retro feeling that sort of harks back to that time when women really dressed and it was all about glamour and all about refinement.
It's also important to us, and it always has been important for us to keep the clothes totally modern, totally like au courant of the moment. Even though there's a retro feeling to them, there's a sort of a thread that goes throughout the collection every season.
These designers start each new collection by gathering fabrics from Europe.
We buy our fabrics about a year out before we start working on a collection.
We work with a lot of the best mills in Europe. We work with their archives, their vaults. We use a lot of old fabrics that we then have recreated for us, old prints, old weaves that we then modernize with a new fiber or a new printing technique.
Then, these new patterns are produced with a vintage motif.
We found these at an archive at an old fabric mill in France. They were these cotton Swiss vintage dress fabrics. We put them on chiffon.
After the fabric is picked, designs are drawn.
I tend to do a little bit more of the sketching because James's background is in men's and they all look like men when he draws them. So he usually has me sketch the girls.
Next, the fabrics are married to the silhouettes.
We'll lay it out and see how it works.
While all the designer details are fine-tuned.
At the same time that we're doing that, we're also working on the embroideries and the embellishments because it has to be done sort of simultaneously.
They even distress their beads to continue the vintage motif. And patterns are created to dictate precisely where each bead will be placed on the garment.
Each bead is actually drawn individually on the pattern. We know exactly where it's going to go, exactly what color it's going to be, exactly how it's going to come back.
When the collection is nearly complete, they send patterns and fabrics to India, where the beads are sewn.
So everything disappears for about a month. And
a very nerve-wracking month, yeah.
Working round the clock, and then suddenly, sort of like Christmas, everything hits.
When it's crunch time, some touch-ups and refinements can be done in-house.
And then we put everything together in our sample room here and refit the clothes and zoom things back and forth until, you know, we get everything where we, until we're happy.
Finally, the fruits of their labor can be seen on the catwalk and the red carpet.
It's kind of funny how the whole red carpet thing started for us. It was Terry Hatcher for the '95 Emmys, and she looked absolutely gorgeous. It was kind of a breakthrough dress for us.
Since then, their client list is the Hollywood A-list.
We were lucky enough to dress some great girls in the beginning. We did Jennifer Lopez for 4 Oscars, actually.
So, how do actresses get ready for their red carpet arrivals? For a design like Allison Janney's Emmy dress, it all starts in the showroom.
The day the Emmys were announced, she came up to the showroom.
And she walked in, and she was very confident and really sort of zeroed right in on the kind of thing that appealed to her. And she zoomed in right for this one dress that she ultimately wore. I think the color was the first thing that attracted her. She hadn't really worn a color like this before.
It's a great dress for walking down an aisle or a red carpet on because it has this wonderful flared train. These seams that sort of flare out and go into godets.
The color jumped out from their collection and from the red carpet.
I like the way the color looked against the red carpet because there was a sort of play on you know, reds and fuchsias, which is a combination that we like anyway. So I thought it was very intense and you know, and sort of beautiful.
And she looked gorgeous, as gorgeous as we hoped she would look. She did.
And these designers don't stop at dresses. A few years ago, they expanded their line to include shoes and handbags.
They're just very feminine, very sort of delicate, fanciful little jewel boxes.
There's also a bridal line, so you don't have to win an award to wear Badgley Mischka. And for now, this designing duo will continue to shape up the world of fashion with their catwalk creations.
It has been 15 years and no one's been killed yet, so I think that's a good sign.